So welcome back everybody, it's Ben Scallon here with Gript Media and I'm speaking to Irish comedian Fabu D, so it's very good to speak to you today.
Same to you. Yeah, happy to be here.
So for the benefit of our audience maybe who haven't heard of you before or this is the first time encountering you, if you could maybe just introduce yourself and tell a little bit about yourself.
So I'm the biggest Irish African comedian here in Ireland. Go by the name Fabu D, aka the Black Paddy. So the Black Paddy is just like an Irish African guy who just came to Ireland like years ago, who's trying to who embraced the Irish culture and using it for his own comedy, and making people laugh basically. So that's where the Fabu D and the Black Paddy comes about.
Fantastic, and you've got a big following on social media, on TikTok, Facebook, etc. And I mean, you're wildly popular. And over the weekend, you found yourself at a protest. There was an anti-lockdown protest going on in the city centre, and so I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about that and how that came about.
Yeah, so as you know yourself, I'm here in Dublin. I do like gigs for Google and different companies and stuff like that. So I finished my work there on Friday. On my way home, I seen a large gathering of guards everywhere. Now I'm curious, what's happening here? What's going on? There's a lot of guards on horses and stuff like that. I'm big on social media. People have to know what's going on. I like to entertain people. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go live. I'm gonna go into this crowd and ask them what's going on here, so people out in the house can see what's happening here in Dublin. Mind you, I had my mask on, I had my sanitizer on, everything is ready to go. And so I went asking people and stuff like that what's happening. They said they were here for protest for freedom. People was telling me about how it's affected them with with the marriage and mental health and stuff like that, which I was like, you know what? Fair enough. Look, it's their own right to speech. Like it's a free world. Everybody have their opinion to do what they have to do. But honestly, shout out to the guards who are trying to keep peaceful at that day, and shout out to all the nurses on the front line and stuff like that. Which I know there's family out there who actually have older parents who's passed away due to this COVID and stuff like that. And I won't lie to you, that day was really crazy. There was people out there who was actually mainly out there for peaceful protest. They came here. They came out there for a genuine reason. They actually came out there to raise their voice, for their voice to be heard. And there's some people out there who, you know yourself, the people who are on tracksuit, the other army who were there to shoot fireworks at the guards, which just ruined everything for them. You know what I mean? So
I mean, apart from anything, obviously hitting a guard would be terrible, but if it had missed the guard, it could have hit another protester.
Do you
There were women there were children, it could have been terrible, so that was awful.
So ruined the whole purpose. But I genuinely, look, I'm not someone to stand and say, to point fingers at nobody, because this is the time we are in this world. It's not the time to put other people down. It's time to work together in unity and love and understanding, communication. How can we see the light of day? What I'm just basically trying to say is just this time is time we need to be there for everyone. Everyone has the dark times they're going through. It's a really, really dark time, so it's time for people to try to be there for each other. I, as a comedian, I'm doing my best throughout this lockdown. Everyone who follows me on social media is a witness. I always put up videos every day to make people laugh, because that's my own goal for this pandemic. People are down, but the only way I can give back is to make people laugh, put laughter in people's life. But I think it backfired when I went to the protest. People was like, oh my God, you shouldn't have gone to the protest. You shouldn't have been there. But as anybody would, if you see a couple of guards and you see a lot of people, man, I'm like the second media basically. So I got to show what's going on, So yeah, that's basically what happened.
And I mean, the media, do you think that their coverage of the whole event was fair on Saturday? I mean, it seemed like it really did dominate. The headlines was just the couple of bad actors who did, things like throwing bottles or whatever, but that kind of encapsulated the whole thing. There was a whole march, I'm sure you saw it on O'Connell Street, where there was no confrontation at all that I saw.
So the media showed the negative part of it, because that's what sells. That's what sells. If I work for RT, I'm not gonna go in there and just video the peaceful protest. People won't, that won't sell. Nobody will talk about it. Bad news spread faster than good news. Trust me. What we're talking about right now, what we're having a conversation about, if I came in here really angry, if I was a really anti-protester and I came to sit down here, this will sell more. I bet you this one will sell because you know why? Because we are being positive. We are talking about the positivity about things. We're trying to show love. We're trying to bring peace. We're trying to bring equality in life. We're trying to find for how people can actually see light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, people don't want to hear that anymore. This is where this world is going to. You know what I mean? People just want to hear bad news. And if you're focused on the bad news, you will get the bad news.
Absolutely.
Because that's where energy is going there. You know what I mean? So whatever it is, I'm not that kind of a person to judge. Now, there's a statement of a black girl, actually. She went on Twitter yesterday. She goes, Fabu D is the circus monkey for Irish white people.
I saw that. That was terrible. You posted that on your Twitter. I have the statement here if you want me to read it out. Just
Please,
people can,
please, just do it.
So somebody, in fact, you can read it if you want. Just this bit right here.
Yeah. Fabu D is literally the show circus monkey for white Irish people. A whole clown. Black people in Ireland don't claim him. He's a plague to the progress black people are trying to make in this country. Now, this comes to my point whereby I fight for equality. See, I'm not that kind of a person. When the justice for Black Lives Matter came out, I'm not that kind of an angry person who will come out and say, I hate white people. It's not who I am. I'm a free spirit. I'm a free soul. Now, there's a video that triggered black people 2 weeks ago that went viral on Twitter. I mean, on TikTok and Instagram. It was a video of a guy calling me the N-word. The fact I didn't react to it triggered them. Now, basically, I was going around Dublin town and video and doing what I always do. And this guy saw me. He came to my camera. He was like, Fabio, you're bleeding. N-word. I was like, hey, calm down. Don't call me N-word. I'm not from Africa. I'm from Sligo. I was trying to cover things with a joke just to kind of like clear things away. I'm not that kind of person to dig into things. He was like, nah, shut up. You are bleeding N-word. And I was like, and I walked away. I wasn't really kind of like, interested in kind of fighting back to. It's not that's not my thing. Went crazy. Black people saying, a lot of black people say, Fabu, you're a coon for not standing up for yourself, for not actually telling him whether fighting him or making a big sense of doing. What do you want me to do? Do a protest about this again? Oh, this guy's calling me this. I'm shining the light into this situation. I rather just kill it by ignoring it. I don't want it to come out. You can call me any word you want. I'm in my country. There's one saying that says, "Silence is the best answer for a fool." So the fact you ignore him, see, if you give something attention, if you react to something, wherever you're reacting to is happy the fact you're reacting to that. So because of that reaction, it gives them that dopamine. Oh, you're reacting, let me do it again. They get reaction. But you do something to someone and they ignore you. You're like, oh, it's boring, I'm not gonna do it again. Because you didn't get a reaction to it. That's the way to kill racism or negative things in this life. When you ignore things, you ignore negativity. There's a lot of negative things happening in the world right now that can ruin your own mental health. When you choose to ignore all these things, you'll find happiness. And that's the way I'm living now. That's the life I live by. That's what this pandemic started teaching me. You know what I mean? Because I want to learn. I've never seen so much negativity in this world like I'm seeing right now. So in my own self, I'm trying to ignore all these things happening. People calling me the N-word, my own people even turning their own back on me, saying that I'm this. I'm just ignoring them. I'm killing them with love. I will always love them. On my Instagram, I lost about 3,000 people.
Unbelievable.
3,000 people. I'm not even. He hit me a little bit. I was kind of like, oh, as a human, you get that feeling like you've worked hard to gain these people. Just one thing, you just lose them like that.
And when you're under kind of a cyclone of hate, you can start to wonder, did I do something wrong? Even if you're pretty sure of yourself that you did the right thing, you still start to question.
I've never questioned myself so bad. And it got worse when my best friend rang me up. Fabu, you shouldn't have gone there. That was a bad decision. I'm like, yo, you my friend. Why are you ringing me up to tell me this? I was like, even like they were ringing me up and telling me the only person on my back was my missus and my mom. My mom was like, you know what? Look, she's very religious though. She's like Jesus' girlfriend. My mom is the most religious person you ever come across. She goes, look, if you have never cast I don't know how she said it. She goes, the first sinner, he cast the first stone. I don't know if you're into religion, if you listen to it right now, you understand this verse. Basically, you're pointing finger at someone before it's pointing back at you. if you've never done something bad in your life, that kind of way. So he said, look, it has happened. It has happened. You've learned your lesson. Just move on. Okay, these people never loved you in the first place. For them to unfollow you on social media just because of one mistake you did.
Absolutely.
Do you understand?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I noticed on your Twitter, I was looking around on social media for this, and Giddy Goat Clothing, I saw that they said that because of your attendance at the thing on Saturday, that they were going to distance themselves from you or something. I don't know if you know about this.
They said they didn't say distance. They said they were gonna remove all my clothing from their clothing site. Basically, not gonna because they have few of my clothing design with them, and not to give them too much publicity anyway. All I'm just saying is that for them to actually go online quickly after that and just throw me out there like a dog and just be like, look, he was at the protest and just George, that's not good for a business. No. If you have a business, you should be promoting love, understanding what's going on in the world, trying to see into things. And the fact that a lot of people maybe not a lot of people know that I have clothing with them. Mm-hmm. Do you understand? Maybe not a lot of people know that I have no clothing about them, but it's a bit controversial to do that to your own business. Now, remember this, this is a political thing we're doing right here. There's the anti-lockdown people, and there's the people who are obeying the lockdown. Maybe the anti-lockdown people might be a small crowd, and the pro-COVID might be a big crowd, and you're trying to please the big crowd, but you forget the fact you're a businessman. A businessman, you forget the fact maybe the people in the anti-protest, anti-lockdown people, there's some people out there who actually genuinely are buying your stuff. Now, because you put that up, you might actually lose some business people. You need to learn one thing as a businessman, like me. You need to learn something that I do, is look at everybody the same. Don't put one person down. Nobody's above anybody.
And it's kind of crazy that business has become so politicized now, where you hear about this all the time, where somebody will say something that's politically incorrect, and then loads of their business contracts start drying up, and nobody wants to talk to them. And you think, well, what does it have to do with my work? You know what I mean? And why would you come after somebody's financial well-being and their ability to provide for their family just because they have an opinion that you might not agree with, or they did something you don't like? It seems a bit excessive.
That is the sad part about life. I'm sorry. See, this is where I say life is not even fair. This is the part I say, this is why there's a lot of people who are afraid to speak up. This is where fear comes in. This is the power of fear. If I say this, I'm going to lose this. If I say this, I'm going to lose this. So why not let me just be a sheep and just rather take what they're giving me and just be a sheep. People are afraid to stand up and be themselves. Because when you be yourself, you're going to lose some certain people. That's a fact in life. So people, because the fact that they know when they open up and become the real self, they lose some certain things, they rather just go with the crowd. I'm not like that.
How has the lockdown affected your career as an entertainer and as a comedian? What impact has it had on your work and your day-to-day life?
Oh, seriously, heavy. When the lockdown started, I was maybe it's gonna go off maybe in 2 months. I was let me just start, I have a few savings. I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna hold on. I'm gonna hang in there and see if in 2 months it's gonna go off and I'm gonna get back to normal lives. And it kept going a year. I lost a lot of contract. I had gigs. I was meant to travel throughout Europe doing what I do. We have plans. We have the comedy festivals. We have the one in Scotland and London and stuff like that. We had all that, and I bet you all the comedians in Ireland can relate to this. Excuse me, because all the festival that's been lined up for us to perform, this is how comedians get their name out there. This is how we get huge. We go to festivals, people come out there, look at us, and they kind of pick you up. Or we do gigs. That's how we feed our families and stuff like that, different kind of gigs like that. With this lockdown coming in, it has turned everything around. The entertainment industry has gone downhill. It has gone really extremely downhill. I mean, there's no way for people to showcase their talents, even music-wise, performance-wise. It has affected everybody badly. And when this kind of things happen, we're not talking about normal job now. This is passion. When your passion when your passion can't move past a certain point, depression kicks in. But when you wake up every day for a passion, this is your goal. You know where you're going in life, but there's nothing you can do about it because the whole world has stopped. not even the whole world, the country has stopped. You can't go to do it again. The pub is closed. You can't do this. Your vision is just mush. You feel locked now. You feel like you feel restless. Your soul is out of your body. You just don't know where to, put your hands on. So it affected me mentally, financially, mentally, spiritually. Now, I am so happy. I'm a very strong person inside. I have a very resilient soul, and thank God for that. And I hope everybody out there watching this can understand. Look, when you have a very strong mindset and you have this strong belief that, look, listen, there's always going to be the light at the end of the day. I mean, that's going to keep you going. That's what keeps me going, because I believe there's going to be the light. There's going to be light at the end of this tunnel. So I won't lie to you, I went through a lot of depression. My missus was going to testify to that. I went through a lot of depression. The first time in my life, actually, I've never complained in my life so much like I did this lockdown. Every day I wake up, I'm always complaining. I complain. She was like, "You complain too much, and there's nothing I can do than complaining." I became like a mosquito in a year. I was a wife now. She was a husband. I was like,
So you think, obviously at the beginning, we didn't know what we were dealing with. And as you said, most people thought this is going to go on for a couple of weeks, maybe a month, and then it'll all be back to normal.
Yeah.
Do you think at this point it's gone on too far? I mean, we're a year into it. It looks like a couple of more months to go. And then they say they'll think about it. They're not even saying it'll open up necessarily, just that we'll look at it again. And of course, we all understand the virus is real. People have died from it. There's been a lot of hardship. But at what point does it become too much? And we have to say, look, people have to work. We have to make money and provide for our families and things. Do you think it's gone on too far? Or?
It is gone on too far. If anybody's out there thinking it hasn't gone on too far, they must have their literally brain really checked up. I think this has gone on too far. It's gone on too far to a point I'm like, just tell us what's going on. Just give us a hint. Tell us your plan. Because now we're confused. And when confusion comes in, frustration kicks in. This is why people are coming out now and kind of protest. Because they're going mad in their house. So if the government is giving us a bit of clarity on why this is being postponed. Now, I've seen cases online that it's rising, it's going down, it's rising, it's going down. The other day, there's too much conspiracy about this, because the other day, apparently, the teacher was saying the numbers was a lie. So now we're like, oh, what's going on now? So it's kind of like, you see, there's too much conspiracy going on. Why is this lockdown going on? I'm here in Ireland on a level 5 lockdown. In America, they're partying. In New Zealand, they're free. Okay, I wouldn't mind if Ireland takes it a bit less by maybe closing the airport or the port, and maybe make sure people are not coming in and going out as much, but let us inside be free. Let's keep up with our business. Give the people freedom. Do you understand? Give the people freedom. Let them do what they want to do. Let business be open, salons be open. People can be able to pay their mortgage. Do you understand? People should be able to be free to get back on their normal life, but take a very smart precaution. Like, close the airport. You can only travel, let's say, you can see your families. Just put some reasonable rules that makes it. I don't understand this rule, to be honest with you. A 5-kilometer distance, but you can still go buy an ice cream. Like, I don't understand. To be honest, I don't. Sometimes I look at the rules, I'm like, who make these rules up?
And you think, when they leave the border open, but you can't go 5 kilometers within your own country, that doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? Because you think, so I can't go from Dublin to Meath or somewhere, but I can go from Brazil to Ireland, that's crazy.
So you see, this is what I'm saying. Some certain rules don't make sense. It's just frustrating. And I do feel sorry for people. I genuinely feel sorry for people who actually has business and can't go on with it. Some pubs will be closed forever. And there's no coming back. Do you know how sad this is? The TDs, they have pay rise now. The nurse on the front line don't even have a pay rise. Do you understand what's going on? So it's like the dictatorship. It doesn't make sense. I'm just being real as it is here. As what everybody should be thinking. Because if you're not thinking the way I'm thinking, you must be content with what you're having. If just the government giving you money every day makes you happy, then, you have no passion in life then. That's what you want to live by. A lot of people want to travel the world, okay? A lot of people want to get their business back open. A lot of people want to visit their mom and their dad. A man was complaining the other day at the protest. He was like, "I haven't seen my missus in a long time." But in a way, if he can go to the protest, how come he hasn't, got to the missus? But anyway, he said he hasn't seen his missus in a long time. And I bet you, not that man is complaining. There's people who are actually obeying the COVID rules, who are not going out of their house, who are actually literally staying at home, obeying the 5 kilometers distance rule. And this kind of people probably have families out there who they haven't seen in a long time.
Absolutely.
Do you understand?
100%.
So it's really sad that these kind of things are happening. So yeah, it's really affecting a lot of people in a lot of ways.
Do you think because you are a Black Irishman that there are certain expectations put on you that you're supposed to hold certain views politically or
Yes.
socially, and do you feel that kind of pressure?
I felt the pressure when I started. See, when I started, I felt a lot of pressure. Should I? I was so much confused in my life when I started my journey because I was lost. I was like, okay, coming up in, I was like coming up as an entertainer in Ireland. Should I entertain the Irish people or should I entertain the African people? What should I do? I don't know what I was gonna do. I was lost in my own way. I was looking at expectation. What do Black people want me to do? What does the Irish people want me to do? Now, it took me a long time to bring out the true character. 8 years, and I realized I am the Black Paddy of Ireland. That's who I am. I'm not gonna please the white people. I'm not gonna please the white people. I wanna please the world. I wanna let the world know what it's like to be Black and Irish. That's what I want to do now. Tell story. Your experience living in Ireland. An African man who left his country when he was 14 years old, grew up, lived half of his life in another man's country, embraced a different culture.
And you really seem to have embraced a lot of Irish culture. Where I mean, you go to your page, you're draped in the Irish tricolour. You get, I mean, one of the things I was struck by when I first discovered you was that so many of your jokes, your comedy, centers around like very Irish cultural references that you wouldn't get unless you'd been like really embedded in the country.
Yes, and you know what's cool about this? I get messages from Canada, Australia. I'm not joking now. Outside Ireland, who said, "Man, I miss home because I watch your videos. When I watch your videos, I miss home." Do you know how happy I get when people like that text me and say, "Oh, I miss home"? I even get African people, my own people, come up to me like, "I love your videos, man. You are the most funniest man. Keep doing you." But don't get me wrong. There's some African people who cringe and like, "Look at you, black sheep living us alone, going down there, making them Irish people laugh. Why don't you make us laugh?" You know what I mean? They just want me to be more like, "Okay, everybody, let's talk about the joke about Africa. Okay, come here. Okay, let's talk. And that's not me. I left that years ago when I was younger. I don't know what it's like. Real fact. Since I've been to Ireland when I was 14, I'm here now 15 years. I've never been back to Africa since then. I don't know. My experience living in Africa is gone. Now I've lived 15 years here as an Irish person now. So that's what I can talk about. So if you look at me and you expect me to say something else, I don't understand.
On that, because you don't strike me as that kind of a person at all, and you seem very courageous. And you mentioned earlier that your mom's very religious. And when I was on your Instagram, I noticed that in your bio you have God first and the praying hands. Does religion play a big part of your life? And would you say that's part of where your courage comes from?
Huge. Without God, I'm nothing. Huge. Without God, I am nobody. That's the only person. That's the only person I run to when I have a bigger problem. See, when I have a problem, I face them as a man. I face all my problems as a man. I kind of like, fix things. For example, let's say I have a little bit of issue with my financial stuff. The solution is work harder. I have a bit of issue with my comedy. Practice more. I have a little thing with my phone. Give it to this person. There's some things that we as human can't handle by ourselves, and I mean spiritually. For me, there's a bigger when you face something bigger and huge, I leave it to God. It's not my fight anymore now. It's God's fight. Because what's happening to me recently with this lockdown and with people giving out to me, protesting, saying I'm going wrong, they're following me on social media. What can I do about it? Instead of me to go there and be depressed and be beating myself up. No, this is not my fight anymore now. This is God's fight. He sees my heart. He sees how pure I am. I'm not there to condole or to slap face at the nurse's eyes or tell them that what they're doing is wrong or what they're doing is bad. I'm just there to be a witness. Let the whole world see what's happening. And if you feel that's bad, then you know what? People out there who's giving out to me on social media, I bet you if they were in the same position as me, if they were in town and they had a mobile phone and they see the lot of guards and they see crowd, do you tell me they're going to walk away from this scene? Nah. Jesus, I can't believe they will want to say this just because I didn't go, Jesus, oh, it's a stage, I can't believe all of you. I'm not that kind of a person. I don't point finger at nobody. I'm not the one to judge. I will never judge anybody. You live your life apart as far as you're not slagging disability or talking about cancer or talking about racial stuff or whatever it is. Look, it's a free world. Do what you want. I'm not there to tell you can't do this. If Jesus come back to life right now, see the way when Jesus came back, it's gonna sound like I'm so damn religious right now, but I will tell you just this quick thing right now, okay? When Jesus Christ in the New Testament, right? When Jesus Christ came out, okay, he said, instead of us, whenever we sin, because back in the Old Testament, when people sin, okay, just to make God forgive you, you have to go and burn a goat or a burnt life for a sacrifice to tell God, God, please forgive me. Jesus Christ like, nah, don't do that anymore. I'm here. Things are going to change now. Just pray and tell God to forgive you. He was cool. He understood people. When they were about to throw stone at your one, this lady who went out having sex with different men, and the whole community was about to stone her to death. She's like, nah, if any of you have never done anything bad, throw the first stone. And they didn't, because he was more into the new era. That's Jesus. So if Jesus Christ is here today, he'll be on Facebook too. He'll be on Instagram. He'll be cool, but he'll just be like, it's a new world. Let's enjoy. Let's go with it. That's what Jesus would do. Let's don't be stuck on the past. Let's focus on the present right now and go. Let's move with it. Let's move with the future. This is a new era now. What I just want the world or just Ireland to understand is, putting a certain group down is not the way to go. We don't want division. We want unity. We want love. Everybody wants freedom. We want to see the light of day. We want to get back to a normal job. We want to get back to normal days. We want to be able to pay our mortgage. We want to be able to see our loved ones. We want to just get back to a normal life where we can have a party. We can get the pubs back open, have a few drinks, and enjoy life like it used to be. And the only way we can get to this place and have what we used to have is by just coming together and understanding what's happening. It's not time to fight each other or argue about this or saying that person's a dull merchant or give out to this group of people. Educate people. Let people know about what's happening. They might be right. Maybe at the end of the day, you don't even know. We might be wrong, or it doesn't matter. So we just have to just come together and understand one thing. Everybody wants freedom. How we're going to make this freedom happen? By communicating, coming together, and let's fight this together. That's how we can get back to normal. Division would never, it won't happen like that.
Fabu D, great to speak to you.
And you too, man. I'm very nice to speak to you. I'll shake you when the camera is off.